I guess soon is sustainable. That is, I guess, defined by soon is defined by whatever you mean soon. I've been doing this now for 18 months like this, so soon to me is 6 months. Soon I'm like, oh, it's right around the corner. But especially for somebody like me, guys, I'm, you know, he's talking about old school models. He's, you know, yeah, so he's old, and basically he's and basically he knows about that old school type of loan officer, right? Where most of us, if you're a loan officer now that you just got in, you're like me, you're 24, you're used to the new stuff. You're used to having a processor, you're used to having an LOA, you're used to sending docs out. It's funny because I have two of my LOs out there. You guys have probably seen them on More Lending's page, Alberto and Jose. They're relatively newer than I am to this game, and they don't know how to calculate income. Sorry for putting you guys on blast, but it's true, you know. Jose doesn't even watch the video, so you won't see it, so you better. But they don't even know how to calculate income. And so I think hammering down and learning these strategies and being able to kind of figure these core things out is going to separate you from the new LOs, from the people out there, from other things out there. Because let me tell you something, you can give me a tax return and I can read the entire tax return without anybody's help. I can take a 1003 without anybody's help. I can read bank statements. I can underwrite a file without anybody's help. And that's something that sets me apart from the average loan officer that's out there.
Yeah, that's true.
From there. So I know that my business will thrive, and it's been thriving. Yeah, and it's been thriving. And I think it's because I've been able to mesh new strategies with old strategies, right? Looking at tax returns, being able to underwrite files, being able to collect the necessary files, being able to pre-qual you without pulling your credit report. I can literally do that. But then also mixing social media, mixing new ways to get business strategies, utilizing my processing team to be able to, hey, get me an income calc, I need to move on this, being able to take 20 apps, right? And then also being able to structure files the right way to make them happen. Because right now, any deal that we get, it needs to go through, right? It's not something where like, oh, just rejecting.
We want to make sure every deal goes through because, again, we don't want to take or suffer that credit expense, right?
Yeah.
You know, if a deal closes, then we're invoiced and whatever we've already charged and the difference gets paid out at the closing, the borrower's paying for credit. So it's a cost we're not incurring. But if we don't, then it's just a sunk cost. Yeah.
And I think right now, if you ask me, right now it's time to, if you're still in the business, if you haven't left yet, because I know it's a pretty hefty number of people that have already left, right?
Absolutely.
I personally think now it's time to dig your feet deeper into the sand and keep moving even harder now. You know, you're kind of not at the finish line, but you're kind of seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. Like, and you gotta just keep pedaling, keep moving, keep making your way through, because it will be.
Listen, anybody who can make it, it'll definitely be worth it to make it. If you're, you know, it all depends where you are, right? I mean, if you're a small broker just taking care of yourself, you're probably good enough to get to the end. If you're a mini correspondent lender like us and you're well capitalized, then you're probably going to be able to get to the end. You know, if you're a big lender and you've got enough reserves to absorb whatever you're dealing with, and you're going to be able to get to the end. And then there's a lot of other players who fall in those same categories but are not, you know, able to do those things, and they're probably going to be the ones that, you know, we don't see or get bought up or merge or get out of the business or whatever it is that falls into that category for them. But, you know, let's see where that all plays out. And I wish everybody the best in getting through everything. And, you know, I hope y'all do. I hope every one of you do.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Absolutely. So guys, again, if you have any more questions, if you're a loan officer trying to get through this, if you're a loan officer that feels like they need a new spot to get through this, that they need to have this type of wisdom and a tip of a phone call, you still have it right now. But if you want it even more, if you want the LO, if you want the More Lending exclusivo, guys, hit us up. We're available on Instagram. We're available on YouTube. We're available on Facebook. We're available on LinkedIn. We're available on TikTok. We're just available, period, right? And we're open to ever having discussions if you're thinking of coming over, building your team, because now also a time to, what is it, the big saying, I think by Warren Buffett too, like when people are greedy, get out. But when they're scared, jump in, right?
Yeah.
So if you're actually thinking of starting your business or thinking of actually expanding your business, now may be just that optimal time for you to really start building your brand and defining who you are. And then when things get really good,
Yeah.
you'll be on the up and up.
And if you happen to be in the business and you want to talk to us about whatever we're talking about, feel free to reach out. We're gonna start having some guests on the show, and would love to have you if you've got something going on and you wanna pick our brains, or you feel like you got a topic that makes sense for our show.
Dude, I completely forgot about that. We are gonna start having guests on the show. We are, yeah. So I kind of figured it out. So those of you who don't know, I'm not a system engineer when it comes to this video stuff, right? But I've done pretty well. I mean, I've started to put all this together. It's coming together a little bit more. So we figured out that I can actually put a camera back there where the system engineer is supposed to be and kind of just have a conversation with myself while they have a conversation. It's crazy, right? I know. But we can do that. So, but also, if you are in the market to make a cool podcast like this, or videos, or trying to get yourself out there, the studio is available to rent, guys, and it is dirt cheap. Like, I'm telling you, we're not charging that much right now.
Get in touch with us for prices, definitely.
Yeah, and if you want to do longer durations, we'll help you come up with content. I specialize in this, so I will help you come up with content. I will help you make this dope podcast.